We don't need.
Okay, hi, I'm Tara Stevenson, and tomorrow I'm going to be a member of Workers United Union. I've always known that Labor Day was about more than just department store sales and picnics and having the day off of work. Over the past few years, its significance to our American life has become more and more apparent to me. What? Oh, okay. The movement to organize working people to be better able to stand up for their inherent worth and dignity began over 100 years ago. It was a struggle, and people died so that you and I could have the right to bargain for labor. Unions are the main reason for a strong middle class. Members who are able to live healthy, productive, responsible lives, taking care of their families and their communities. Unions give a shot at the American dream to so many of us.
That's right.
They augment the real bottom line to include more than companies' profits. The real bottom line includes people's welfare, people's safety and their rights. And I gotta tell you, I work really, really, really hard for candidates. I vote every year, and in this season I'm out canvassing. I'm that person knocking on your door telling you to vote for blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And it's the first thing I look for. It's the first thing I look for when I'm deciding on a candidate that I want to support, is whether or not they're concerned about all of us. Whether they are pro-union or not is a really high priority of mine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tara Stevenson.
Thank you, Tara.
I would like to turn it over to one of our great allies within the Lehigh Valley in Allentown, Jude Largeny. She is the executive director of Power Northeast, and extremely powerful. So, Jude. So I'm excited to be here with all of you today, and this day is important for a number of reasons, right? A, because labor has built this country. This country has been built on the backs of working class people. This country is a place that was built on the backs of black slaves, African slaves. This country was built on the back of the indigenous people who were sacrificed for the colonialists in order to create this moment at this time. So I'm here because it's important to stand with labor. I'm here because labor has been targeted for years with right to work, with low wages, with this idea that we have to push back on what people earn every day so they can make a living wage. The reality is, folks, that labor is not alone. They've been targeted for years and they're going to be targeted more now. I mean, let's look at what's happened in the last 8 months. In the last 8 months, Trump, being in the White House, has targeted Muslims. He's targeted transgender people and LGBTQ people. He's targeted dreamers. He's targeted immigrants of all stripes. And we know, even though he has not said it, that black folks and brown folks have been stepped on and will continue to be stepped on with this administration. Because he put into power Jeff Sessions and Steve Bannon and white nationalists. And it's no longer enough to even be white. Because the reality is that Trump is targeting any white person who is not standing with white nationalism. So we're here because we want to say that we will not rest. We will not stop. We will continue to show up. We will continue to be present. We will continue to stand for one another. Because the reality is we have to go forward together, and we will not take one step back. Forward together, not 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 one step back. We are not willing to sacrifice anybody on the altar of Trump. We are not willing about too. I just want us to get that for a moment. This is a critical moment in our history. This is a moment where we are called to be as patriotic as we can be. And patriotism means resistance. Don't let them tell you that patriotism means being polite. And patriotism means, oh, I can speak politely to my elected officials like Pat Toomey, who refuses to have a real town hall, who last week, rather than have a real town hall where his constituents can actually name their issues and converse with him and have a dialogue, he said, well, you know, some people don't really want to have a conversation. And I want to say, no, Pat Toomey, you don't really want to have a conversation.
That's right. That's right.
So one of our brothers last week, and I want to speak up for him, Simon Radicki, actually put his neck on the line last week. He went into that den of inequity, is what I'm going to call it, because it was made so that no one's voices could actually be heard. And he asked Senator Toomey a real question. He said, Senator Toomey, have you watched the news? Do you know where your daughter is? And he got thrown out for that, and he got cited for disorderly conduct for that. But that was a real question that immigrant families are asking every day. And I'm not willing to sacrifice immigrant families for Trump. Are you?
No.
I'm not willing to sacrifice workers for Trump. Are you?
No.
I'm not willing to sacrifice LGBTQ people for Trump. Are you?
No.
So this is the work, people. This may be what you see in public, right? Because Cornel West says justice is what love looks like in public. And we are demanding justice. We will not rest until we have justice. We will not rest until unions are safe and protected and are able to give the American dream to each and every one of their workers. So for me, when I came here to this country at 7 years old, my uncles had preceded me. They worked at a factory called Cartex in Montgomery County. And they were able, this 19-year-old and 21-year-old Haitian American boys, to build a life. They were able to make enough money to earn enough to buy a house that I grew up in, that my grandmother took care of. And as a result, I am here today because of unions. So let's not rest. There is no time to rest. We must fight. And the reality is, we must all choose which side we're on. Every one of us must decide every day when we get up that we are on the side of love and on the side of justice. Anything else is not acceptable. So, I just want to say that, you know, when we really look at this and how fearful it is, this is a fearful moment. I want to just name that. That this is the scariest moment I've ever had as an American. To wonder, when are they going to start rounding us up as activists? When are they going to start targeting us, looking at our phones and our text messages? I've never felt like that. Under Bush, I didn't feel like that. I didn't agree with his policies. But let's just say that Republicans have set the path for Trump. They are not immune from this. And Democrats have set the path by being complicit in their silence. So we must hold Democrats accountable. We must hold Republicans accountable. No one is safe. No one is safe. So the reality, I'm going to leave you with a couple words, right? Rabbi Abraham Heschel, which you guys are going to get tired of hearing, said, in a free society, some are guilty, but all are responsible. And I want to say every one of us here today is responsible. Every one of us here today has the power to make a difference. Every one of us here today are the resistance that will prevent Donald Trump from changing America completely from a democracy to an oligarchy where only the rich can be heard. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was extremely powerful.
Thank you.
We
We don't want to stay out here too long. We also know that people have some celebrating to do, but as we are celebrating, we have to highlight labor and what that means. What working people mean to this country, to this city, to this state, and everywhere. It's an equalizer for all people. And I want to let people know some information. There's information called Right to Work. It's a piece of legislation that's going to be coming down either statewide or federally. And what Right to Work legislation does is it takes away the right to form a union. One of the last equalizing pathways that we have as working people to make sure that we have livable wages or can get there, to make sure that folks are not paid less than a white man, whether it's a woman or a black woman or a Latinx woman that makes less by 3/4 to almost half less than a white male. This is one of the last equalizing platforms that we have, and that is the ability to join and be a part of a sustainable union. So I want to leave you with that information because these fights, just like everything else that's frightening within our communities, within this state, within this country, it's going to be a constant flow of resistance from all of us that are here today. And I implore you to take this out on your Labor Day picnics and your community picnics and when you're talking to your family and actually have comprehensive conversations about these issues and maintaining what we need to maintain as working people. So I'm going to end with a chant that's going to be, what do we want? It's going to be unions. And then it's going to be, what do we want? And it's going to be 15. And it's going to be, what do we want? We're going to say labor, right? Okay? So what do we want? Unions! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Unions! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? 15! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Labor! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Labor! When do we want it? Now! I also want to thank all of our partner organizations that came out here today. SEIU Healthcare PA, Workers United, Power Northeast, Make the Road Pennsylvania, our Faith, Power Northeast, if I did not say it, I'm sorry, I don't remember your church. Metropolitan Community Church. The folks that are going to be running for election sometime soon. Planned Parenthood is also here. Hi. And if I forgot anybody, you can please. Oh, Women's March. Gosh darn it, Shauna Nipper, can't forget that. So please go back and have good conversations with your friends, your family, your coworkers, and continue this conversation in Labor Day and beyond. So thank you all very much for coming today.
Tanya, you want to get a